Dateline, May 22nd, 2023. FTC suit leads to $16.7 million judgment against principals and celebrity endorsers of real estate investment training program. Court order agreed to by principals permanently bans them from selling wealth creation programs. That just happened, and it's related to why I'm going out of business. Despite a team of epic rock stars, the best of intentions, and investing $2,778,000 to grow my business, my execution of a brilliant idea got totally torpedoed, and I'm gonna let you in on the goof-ups we made and our scramble to save the remains. All of this so you can learn from my experience, so you don't have to make the same mistakes. Stuff no book's gonna teach you. In fact, there's a very popular book at the center of this catastrophic failure. I'm revealing all. You ready? Let's go. 2019, retirement was on my mind because Mercedes and I, we were no wiser in our education business than first-time fix and flippers who get starry-eyed about profits and end up in a rehab rabbit hole. It's like this. Imagine that you found the perfect fixer-upper. You pour your love, sweat, and cash into it, only to realize that you've overcooked the rehab, and now the profits are as thin as the wallpaper. Well, in 2011, Mercedes and I, we were those naive fixer-uppers, but our project was a new business, teaching people how to do what we do, invest in real estate. We heaped on training and tools and support and resource, everything that we could think of, only to find the profits sinking faster than a souffle. Our marketing was as effective as a chocolate teapot, and the sales were as vibrant as a flat soda. It was a problem. Epic though, it was our passion, but it was like trying to light a fire with wet wood. It sputtered, sparked, but never roared to life. It was a non-profit adventure with a few glimmers of gold, but really tethered to life support. It would have died a long time ago if it weren't for our flips and our cash flow covering up for the losses. But there's wisdom in folly. Lesson number 1, earn more than you spend. Duh. Lesson number 2, no matter how great your product or service is, it ain't without marketing and sales. Back to the retirement dilemma. I had just finished reading this book, Who, Not How, by Dan Sullivan. You read it? Really good book. It's about shifting your mind from how do I do it to who can do it for me. But it should come with a warning label, and I'll get to that. Not a day after I put the book back on the shelf, this happened. The FTC had just whacked the 2 800-pound gorillas in the real estate seminar space for their questionable promotions and suspect claims. All your favorite real estate reality stars and their sales teams were out of business. That led to the brilliant idea. A business struggling to sell education meets an industry failing to educate. It was as if the universe just laid the who for my how problem right at my feet. So the Epic team took to the phones and started assembling an A-team of newly unemployed rock star marketers, presenters, and salespeople. Imagine the impact that we could make. An opportunity to just change the face of an entire industry. So we sent out on the road our first sales team on a 6-city tour of live events at about $125,000 per city. Yeah, it's expensive. Then Mercedes and I, we upgraded our education platform and we prepped the office for all the new students that were certainly on their way. That was expensive too. A rocky start for the first 2 cities. The next 2 cities, they showed some promise, but the next 2, game on. The sales team was making promises. Mercedes and I were keeping them. Match made in heaven until 3 months later, global pandemic. Lesson number 3, don't deal poker in a tornado. This isn't really one of my lessons, but damn, I picked the worst time in history to push in my chips for something like this. Not only was I forced to shut down the live workshops, our phones, they were ringing off the hook, but not in a good way. You see, cancellations and refund requests were just pouring in. COVID, it freaked everyone out the first couple of weeks, remember that? But this was just the beginning of the end. As bad as the pandemic was for a live event business, it wasn't the worst part. 2 weeks to flatten the curve turned into 4, and it was becoming clear that we were going to be sheltered in place for a bit. So we did what every other business was doing. We took our offline events and brought them online. The novelty of virtual seminars, it gave us a few months of oxygen, but it didn't last. The Zoom events, they got smaller and smaller to the point we had to take a break. But we kept paying our new staff of 15 like a gambler doubling down on a losing hand. No revenue in, just payroll out. Lesson number 4, beware the bottomless bucket. Throwing endless money into it only because you are afraid of letting people down is like feeding a bottomless pit with gourmet meals. The hunger, it never ends, and the food, it keeps on vanishing. Invest in a business because it makes sense and dollars, not because it makes you feel like a hero. I mean, it was a constant refinancing of my portfolio to keep this thing alive, and when that dried up, we sold what we could, and then we moved to credit cards, and when then those maxed out, the pandemic was now over, just in time to run out of money, and no one cared. You pay me. And that's lesson number 5. Put your oxygen mask on first. Ever been on a plane and heard those instructions? I mean, that's life in a nutshell, really. I mean, if you're the big provider, be it for cash or comfort, you've got to be in shape yourself to save the day. To be selfless, you gotta be selfish. I mean, if you can't swim, does it make sense to jump in and save your drowning team? The A team that I put together answered no. They were competent in their sales, but they were also selfish, as they should have been. They're providers to somebody too. Also though, bankrupt in their character and morals. And I don't mean Chapter 11, I mean complete moral insolvency. Sure, they could sell ice to Eskimos and light to the sun, but they were offending customers on and off stage like it was an Olympic sport. They were abusing expense accounts like rock stars in a hotel room. It felt like a never-ending reel of slapstick comedy. A punch in the gut one day, a poke in the eyes the next, and a kick to the shin the day after that. Only the laugh track was missing, and the only thing breaking was my bank. Lesson number 6, don't let the tail wag the dog. Ever been to a circus where the lion tamer was afraid of the lion? Well, the leader of our A team used fear to manipulate the operation by reminding us that we needed to kowtow to the presenters and the salespeople for fear that they would jump ship and land with a competitor. It's kind of like being the captain of a ship, but just letting the crew steer. And speaking of being the captain, lesson number 7, watch your instruments. You got to know your key performance indicators, your KPIs, and you have to track them daily. Imagine racing your car with your eyes closed, hoping the feel of the road will guide you to victory. Do that, and you're destined to end up in the ditch of despair. So much pain could have been avoided by making data-driven decisions instead of emotional ones. And you know what they say, when emotions rise, intelligence falls. Lesson number 8, trust your instincts. Hiring the who might sound like a golden ticket, but it's no Willy Wonka guarantee. Just because you delegate to a team of experts doesn't mean you abdicate and abandon your own intuition. Be the architect of your own success, or you might find yourself living in a house of cards and watching it all tumble down. Oh, and then wait, there's a masterclass in customer service here too. Lesson number 9, the customer is not always right. They can lie. Did you know that? Here's 3 tales that'll have you second guess scaling a business. First, chargebacks. You heard of those? 10 plus years doing this, and I had never had. You see, a chargeback is when someone buys something, has second thoughts, and instead of asking for their money back, they cry fraud to their credit card company. It's like ordering a burger and then complaining that the restaurant purposely gave you a hot dog after you ate it. Had they just told the waiter they made a mistake when they were served the hot dog, they would have brought them a burger. Second tale, think of joining a gym and never going, not even lifting a finger, except to dial the gym a year later to ask for your money back because you're still flabby. I mean, you can try asking for your money back, but don't be surprised when the gym doesn't roll out the refund red carpet. The gym membership is not a magic wand. You gotta lift the weights. Third tale, imagine a business going above and beyond their duties to help you make back your investment. And when they actually do, you still ask for a refund because the business made more money by helping you get all of yours back. It's like being taught how to fish, then getting upset that the teacher caught a bigger fish. You could have caught that big fish yourself had you just put your line in the water. Education is about using what you learn, not blaming the teacher for your unused fishing rod. Now, I'm not sure if those are lessons for business owners or customers, but they were new to me either way. Lesson 10, spell it out in detail. You ever heard the saying, the devil's in the details? Well, in business, that devil can be a handshake deal, where you bend the rules a bit to please a customer. Think you're clear with just a no refunds line? No, think again. It's like agreeing to share your candy, then find out that the other person wants all of it. Spell out every detail, even when it seems obvious, or you might just find yourself out of candy, scratching your head, wondering what happened. The overarching theme here is that success doesn't necessarily mean expansion. It's about sustainability and integrity and knowing the ins and outs of your business better than anyone else. So how did it end? Well, it's kind of obvious up front, right? We shut it down. We let everyone go and wiped the slate clean. Mercedes and I are back to investing in real estate full time. But if you still want to learn how to do what we do and what we've taught thousands to do over the years, hit the subscribe button because I give it all away here for free. And to prove it, if you'd like one of our secrets to getting more offers signed and faster, text me at 725-500-5994 and I'll just hand over my collaboration code cheat sheet. It's one of my most valued possessions. So what'd you notice? What'd you learn? Let me know in the comments below. And who else do you know that might want to watch this? So when their name comes to mind, please share with them. Thanks for watching. Oh, and I pulled this video out here special for you to watch next. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Take care.